Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? Joey Sugarbuck is back here with another video for you guys. And today, guys, we are here to talk about the latest Ravens training camp update, as well as a little reflection on the preseason game that they just played against the Saints on Saturday night. So, a couple things first. I was not able to watch the game. I was actually hiking in the White Mountains this weekend, and there was no real cell coverage, so I could not really watch the game. I got some updates whenever there was at least a smidge of service, but it was really tough. So therefore, when I just got home today, I kind of looked at some stats, looked at some highlights, some film, and all of that. So based on what I could see, because again, I wasn't able to watch the game. And most preseason games I'm not able to watch just because I don't live in Baltimore, and I do not have that NFL Game Pass thing, so I can't usually get them. But I can still follow along better when I actually am home and have some cell coverage. So anyways. Biggest takeaways from the first preseason game. The offensive line was awful, especially in the first half. However, in their defense, we were without our primary starters. Ronnie Stanley, Kevin Zeitler were both out with injuries. And I would say Ben Cleveland was out with an injury too. I'm not going to assume that he's good because you don't know yet, but he could still be a factor on the line. So we were without a lot of the starters. But the people that were in did not do well at all. McSorley and Huntley were in trouble quite a bit. Run blocking was really not good. Dobbins got a few carries, didn't do anything. Some backups, like what was it, Hassan Williams? I forget his name. He did pretty well in the second half. But in general, the offensive line played pretty poorly. But at the same time, it was basically our backups. The only starters that played were Bozeman and Villanueva, I think. But also, Bozeman got hurt. He's out with an ankle injury. It does not look like anything serious, but he did not play for very long before getting hurt. So, that's cool. The only other injury that I can remember from the game is Trace McSorley with a back injury. It's interesting because it didn't even happen in the game. Apparently, he threw his back out trying to lift a box or something before a game. I don't know. It was some weird story, but apparently his back was already bothering him going into the game. He played through it, and apparently it just made it worse, and it turns out it's a more significant back injury than expected. So McSorley's out for a few weeks with a back injury, and it didn't even happen in football. It happened by trying to lift something. Go figure. But anyways, McSorley, I hope he gets healthy and everything, but it's really not in a good place for him right now because he was playing kind of garbage. He threw, I think, 1 or 2 picks in the first half, maybe even 3. I think it was 2. He was not doing well at all. And then in the second half, Tyler Huntley came in and was doing pretty well. He made that mistake. He lost the ball. He took a big hit when he should not have lost the ball. That was a big mistake on his part. But besides that, Huntley did a lot better. McSorley was kind of trash in the first half when he played, and then he hurt his back, or his back was hurt, and then it got more serious. So regardless, he hurt his back, and now he's out for a few weeks. And meanwhile, Tyler Huntley came in and was slinging the ball all over the place. So I think it's pretty much locked in now that Tyler Huntley's going to win the quarterback number 2 job behind Lamar Jackson, obviously, which I'm kind of happy about. I was never big on McSorley, to be honest. He did do okay, I guess, against Pittsburgh last year when Jackson was out with COVID. But in general, I've never been big on him. I think Huntley is better. I think he's got the more mobility. He can sling it pretty well. And when he flashed when he was in last year, I know that overthrow to Marquise Brown against Buffalo was just so devastating because that would have put us right back in the game. But even so, besides that, he wasn't bad in that game. He was moving around, avoiding pressure, and besides the throw to Brown, his throws in general were pretty good. They were just drops because that was the story of the Ravens receiving core last year, including Mark Andrews. But anyways, I'm glad Huntley won it. I shouldn't say it's guaranteed, but it's looking very likely that Tyler Huntley is going to be the quarterback too. McSorley continues to not play well. I don't think he hasn't looked great in training camp either. And B, he just got hurt. That's going to set him back. So chances are Tyler Huntley will take that spot. And it's also good. He and Lamar Jackson are really good friends. They may have even gone to the same high school or something. I know there was some relationship before football. So yeah, all thumbs up there. So that's the big takeaway. Defensively, now that we've talked about the offense, defense played well, especially the secondary. We forced, I think, 6 turnovers, was it? It was crazy. Fumbles, interceptions. We forced a lot of turnovers, so that's always nice to see. And again, most of it was backups. A lot of it happened in the second, third, and fourth quarter, so that was great to hear. And then, as all you know, one of my biggest concerns, the pass rush. I think we got 3 sacks. One was from Patrick Queen on a 3rd and long. I think he blitzed. Odafe Owe pretty much got a sack. He wasn't credited for the sack. He made first contact, and then everyone else came in and helped out. And then Jalen Ferguson got a sack late in the game. It was a total coverage sack, but a sack is a sack. So I'm not going to really worry about it because all of our starting defensive linemen weren't playing, besides Owe and Bowser. I think Bowser got in a little bit, but no Campbell, no Wolf, no Williams. And Matabuke, if he even played for very little. I didn't see him much at all. I thought I remember seeing him out there, but I don't think he played for long. So I know Broderick Washington was in there, and yeah, Owe got some reps, and then other edge rushers who I don't even know, to be honest. I know it's kind of embarrassing. But in general, our backups were in, so I wasn't expecting the pass rush to be good. But we got a couple sacks, so that's something, I guess. But the biggest key, I think, for us this year is just to get sacks and pressure without blitzing. And for now, I really don't trust us to do that, but maybe once the starters come in, the pads go on, the intensity rises, maybe I'll get proven wrong. I mean, maybe. It's always possible. Signed Justin Houston, so I'm really hopeful that he can help out. So yeah, back to the Owe play, where he pretty much got the sack but just didn't finish. And I think we saw a lot of that where did he go? Penn State, was it? A lot of times, he got 0 sacks last year. I know that's kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, he had a high pressure rate, and a lot of times, it's getting to the quarterback, just not being able to finish the sack. And sometimes that's okay, like against the Saints in that play. He didn't actually get the sack, but he led the charge, and other guys were able to help out. But then again, if it's like a simple 1v1, Owe beats the line and then has to get the quarterback on his own, he's gonna need to be able to finish the sack. And I do think that was also an issue. That's been an issue for the Ravens pass rush a lot. In general, it's garbage. And a lot of times we don't get enough pressure. But when we do get pressure, sometimes we get the sack. But also, a lot of times I've seen us not being able to finish. We even get some hits on the QB, but we're not able to actually get the sack. We bounce off them. We miss the tackle. A lot of times we don't finish. So it seems like Owe is kind of bringing that same thing on not being able to finish, but at the same time, he was getting pressure, and he did help out to get the sack. So that is something to keep in mind. We need to be able to finish the sacks, not just get pressure and then let the quarterback escape. Nothing was more frustrating last year than seeing that, where we get some pressure, but we can't actually sack the quarterback either. He gets away, was able to throw it away. He eludes the rush. He's able to get a completion. We got to be able to finish and get the quarterback on the ground. But besides that, I don't think there's much. It was the first preseason game. Lamar Jackson did not play. Of course, Rashad Bateman, I don't know if I mentioned this already, had surgery. Apparently, he had surgery on his groin. It looked like it went well. Nothing bad happened. He can't wait to come back. It looks like he's still intending to come back with a lot of energy. And I think it was the right choice to get surgery. While it does knock him out for longer than if he hadn't gotten surgery, if he didn't get surgery, there was a higher chance that we would have re-aggravated it. And nothing is worse, especially for a wide receiver. I shouldn't say especially for a wide receiver, but in general, nothing's worse than having a really nagging injury all year long. I still think even if he came back without surgery, it still would have been kind of bothering him. He wouldn't have been 100%. And again, there was a higher chance of him re-aggravating it, which would have been no good at all. So I'm glad he chose to get surgery. I'm glad it went well. He'll be back in September, which I can't wait for. So that's cool. Other good news on the injury front. Kevin Zeitler returned to practice today after spraining his foot, I think it was. And Marquise Brown was on the sideline, I think, today, running around doing some conditioning work. He didn't practice, but he's working his way back from the hamstring injury that was way more significant than previously expected. So, in general, injuries, a good sign. Also, Ben Cleveland, he was coming back from a concussion, it turns out. He should be back maybe Wednesday, if not Thursday, which is also something to keep in mind because the Ravens are beginning joint practices against the Panthers starting, I think it was Wednesday. So hopefully he's going to be back. So back to, sorry, I had to cut out for a second. But back to what I was saying. Joint practices with the Panthers begin, I think it was Wednesday and Thursday, and then they have their preseason game on Saturday against the Panthers in Carolina. So hopefully Cleveland is back for that. And then the last thing we're going to touch on today. So the latest Ravens injuries, how concerning are they? It does seem that we're getting hurt a bit more than usual, and we've always had some injury issues. It does seem to be particularly worse this year, but to look on the bright side of things, we have not had any significant season-ending injuries yet. A lot of minor injuries, a lot of out for a few days, back, or out for a week or two, back. No real significant injuries. So that's my main takeaway. However, I mean, the most serious injury we've had is to Bateman, obviously. That has knocked him out for a few weeks. Chances are he might not be ready for the opener a little less than a month from now. So that was the most significant injury we've had. But other than that, it's just been a ton of minor ones. So I'm trying not to get too nervous. But at the same time, if this happens during the season, we'll probably be in trouble. But because we have a lot of time, I'd kind of rather the injuries get out of the way now, the 1 to 2 weekers. Because think, if it's 1 to 2 weeks in the regular season, their chances are they're going to miss the next game. And I understand when the regular season's going on, the players push more to play, even if they're not 100%. And meanwhile, in practice, they sit out more because they know that they can and they don't want to risk re-aggravation when they don't really need to. But, you know, to some degree, it does get concerning, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Once we start, and if we see season-ending injuries, then I'll start to get concerned. But no real significant injuries. I guess you could call the Bateman injury decently significant. And the Jimmy Smith injury that I kind of forgot to touch on. They said he was only out for like a week or two. I haven't seen him back yet, but it looked serious when it first happened. It turns out it's not serious, so he should be back soon, as far as I know. I'll check the latest hints, but as far as I know, he should be back. I thought I remember them saying that he'd only be out for like a week or two. Maybe I missed something, but Jimmy Smith should be coming back. He didn't suffer a significant injury. Bateman will be coming back. He's the one that got the most significant injury, and even he shouldn't be out for too long. It's a little ways, but it's not too bad. And yeah. So other than that, I think that's just about it. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I am out. Peace out. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Go Ravens, and I will see you guys probably on Sunday with a recap of the Ravens-Panthers preseason game and any new updates or injuries to the Ravens roster.